we haven't updated our codes since 2012, and the new codes are the 2012 codes, which need to be adopted. We have not adopted the new fire code, which we came into a little issue when we were trying to do some inspection of some buildings. So it was recommended that we get them adopted.
Council questions?
Best food committee.
Council pleasure? Resolution 2014-167, authorizing payment in the amount of $2,500 for a P.C.S. easement on property owned by Miles Sand and Gravel.
P.C., when they do the road work, when we do the road work on Stewart and they move the poles, they have to change where the guy is located, and it's located on Miles Sand and Gravel property. Formerly, the property was owned by Agriculture and Plumbing. Miles just purchased it a couple months ago. The guy area is a larger area than what is currently there, and this would be the appropriate amount for the kind of property that we're dealing with for an easement. We're not actually purchasing the property. We're talking about like 30 square feet. In a commercial zone. Or no, I'm sorry. It's 100 square feet. I'm sorry.
100?
Yeah, it's 100 square feet.
Yeah.
Other council discussion?
Money's strictly going to be paid by city, or is it going to be figured into the
It's part of the Stewart Road project. This money is part of the Stewart Road project.
It's not additional money.
It's not additional, no.
That's going to come out of our pocket.
Right. And it is a one-time payment, yeah. And actually, I spoke with Mike from Miles Sand and Gravel today, and it may not even be this much.
Yeah. See, that's going to be paid by PID, but sometimes it's true.
Council pleasure?
Move forward.
Next on the agenda, King County Solid Waste Grant, $10,000.
This is just for the acceptance of the King County Recycling Solid Waste Grant that we get every year.
Council questions?
The one that counted the school.
Yes.
Council pleasure? Next on the agenda, 2014-169, P.S.E. consent agreement.
This is the consent agreement to have for P.S.E. to move the poles on Stewart Road.
Council questions? Council pleasure? Move forward. Next on the agenda, 2014-170 parametric survey contract.
There's been some complaints. I know Finances had some people come in and complain about the stormwater issues on the bills and stuff, complaining that nothing is getting done on the West Hill. We have a plan to do some stormwater work on the West Hill, but we need topography, and this is the lowest bid we got for a topography survey.
Where will the funds come from? Stormwater?
Stormwater.
That funds?
Yes,
We haven't tapped that fund yet?
we haven't tapped it completely out yet.
Other council questions? Council pleasure?
Move forward.
Move forward. All righty. Next on the agenda, 2014-171 P.C.S. Energy Valentine relocation agreement.
Somehow this slipped through the cracks in the office there, so we didn't have this on the agenda sooner in the year. But we have to do this agreement so that P.S.E. can move their infrastructure on Valentine before we do the road project, which is currently out to bid. So.
Council questions?
I'm just trying to figure out how we just got by, all this time, but.
Oh, Jim and I thought we'd run it through, but it was because we ran through the relocation agreement on Stewart, not.
Few relocations going on. Council pleasure? Okay, let's move that forward. Last item on the agenda, garbage and recycle.
Okay. First thing to bring it up to date a little bit, the gal representative from Waste Management called me. She finally got everything together that she needed. She was going to be leaving town. She'll be back, I think she said in 2 weeks. So we will getting together with her after that point. In that discussion with her, I brought up the issue of people that are not, visibly not receiving garbage service. And she was going to get back with Ken. I gave her a couple of addresses. She was going to check those addresses out. And Ken has been having some situations where people even have garbage service, but they're not, don't want to pay the excess, so they stack their garbage up in their yard as well. And apparently we've had a lack of communication between Waste Management and the city, because it's mandatory garbage service, and if they're not paying Waste Management quits picking it up. But the city has not been informed of all these things. So Laura says we work with Ken closer, and hopefully we're going to get this rectified. She wanted Ken to give her a list of some people that he knew, and so if there's anybody that you people recognize where they're not putting a can out anymore on garbage day, we need to be made aware of it, because I think we have quite a few offenders. Did she come up with an answer on the 2 addresses I gave her?
She hadn't when she left for vacation.
She hadn't. Okay. All right, the other thing is we have a situation that Jerry has closed his recycling. So now we have no place in this city for people to go take their garbage and their plastic and their newspaper and whatever. The people that don't have recycle service at the curb are people that basically probably can't afford to recycle at the curb. And so since they not a spot locally to dispose of it, they're going to dispose of it alongside the road someplace or someplace else, stack it up on vacant lot. We're going to start to have a situation again around town where there's recycled stuff that is accumulating in strange places. So I've been thinking about it, and I know today I was up and behind the Albertsons store in Milton. They accept glass, all colors of glass up there. I think we kind of need to, someplace I went by right around North Algona or someplace where the Boy Scout troop had a newspaper collection box. I was going to check out at the super mall and see what that recycle facility is over there exactly. But I think we need to make a list of where people are wanting us to bring cardboard or newspaper or glass, this type of thing, so we have something that I think we should eventually put together and put out in our utility bills and have them available here at the office, because we don't do something like this. Believe me, before I was in this town and there was garbage and trash all over, and it was before we had the recycling. When we had the recycling over here, that got out of control. We had, because people with a freezer would come unplugged or something else, they bring the rotten meat out and all the other stuff. That bolt in over there, that's why that was enclosed and fenced in, is because that was our recycling, and then it would be open in the mornings and closed at night to have some kind of control on it. And that's when Jerry came in and agreed to take the recycling, because at that time, newspaper and cardboard and glass, all this stuff had some kind of value. I understand, and just briefly, that it's a cost thing now, so it's not, there's no income. As a matter of fact, he went backwards on doing it as far as financially. I don't know whether our Boy Scout troops, I know there must be some value in cardboard, because I see them backing up over here at the store all the time, and I see them going down by McLennan's, full pickup loads of strapped down cardboard and everything. So I don't know whether there's some, whether Boy Scouts or something here in town want to set up to accept newspaper and cardboard, but we need to take some steps now before we have it 6 months or 8 months from now stacked up and say, oh, we should have done something about it.
Council question?
One thing we can do is incorporate recycling in with our garbage pickup. That was a suggestion when we do the new contract, that be done, because right now, because we're doing it separate, we're being billed for 2 separate services, and it's the most expensive way to have our garbage and recycles picked up. If we combine the two, it decreases the bill, you know, on a percentage-wise substantially, where people who are paying for both now would save, you know, $3 to $5 a month, and I don't know, you pay maybe $1 or $2 more a month in your garbage bill, and that might be one way of, you know, making it mandatory that, you know, we just come up with a contract that says everyone will be billed this amount and include those services.
When we're talking to Laura, that there would be no way that our recycle would be at a zero figure. Now, I'm going to try to talk with them and see whether maybe they'll do the, because it was the waste management, or I don't believe it was waste management at the time, but it's the same company that maintained and had the recycle bins here for us, and they were at no charge to the city. So we got to try to do something to help these people that cannot afford to pay for recycling. I mean, I can't afford to pay for all these services, recycling garbage, recycling cardboard, recycling my grass, everything else. I checked into that. I go bankrupt. I mean, my pickup, just my mowing this weekend, was one complete full load in my pickup of nothing but grass. And that was no weeding or nothing else. And so that little square box is going to give me for $10 and dump it every other week. Is that a joke?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Not suggesting to make that happen.
no, I mean, we can't keep driving these costs up to these citizens.
Yeah.
For my water bill, $102 from 83.
Do you send that to committee, or do you want to investigate that further, or just wait to hear back on the investigation date?
So basically, what I'm asking for right now is some help from the council members and giving us some locations where we can give some addresses and where these people want this done.
Maybe it's an opportunity for us to work with Algona to see if we do a joint recycling thing. You know, it's an opportunity to have a conversation with Mayor Hill. We have to be facing the same issues.
Anyway, basically, it's just information purposes. I just found it out Sunday, and we react right away on it, and I'm asking for help from the council members when they see a local box someplace for weight newspaper or plastic or something, make a notation of where it is, so we can put a list together, because those people put their boxes, they want the stuff.
Somewhat related question for Ken, actually. Do we allow remission of garbage charges for vacant houses under code, or is it mandatory?
Mandatory.
So all of these vacant homes that nobody's actually generating garbage should still have active accounts.
They still have activity.
And so are they getting these huge $400,000 accumulated bill as well?
No, Waste Management
Well,
just cuts them off.
Yeah, Waste Management just cuts them off.
Well, someone's living there does. But are they acquiring this ginormous, lovely bill?
No,
Waste Management.
Because Waste Management,
Okay.
yeah, they
Well, my question is there a place where if we can find someone who collects newspapers, who collects glass, who collects cardboard, and says, yeah, we'd love to set a box or a dumpster somewhere in your town, is there a place where we can set it? Or will that attract people who are emptying their freezer that went dead 3 weeks ago full of nasty meat
It was a
and
mess when it
bodies?
was here on
Yeah.
city property, it was a mess.
So you did have that here at one point in time?
Yes.
But I'm just wondering if it's an opportunity to work with King County, with the transfer station, with Mayor Hill, you know, like over there on that site.
Away from us,
Well, I mean, it's already,
over at the dump?
yeah, it's already a site. It seems like there should be an opportunity to have a conversation
King County.
with King County and Mayor Hill, because they're moving that transfer station. You know, it seems to me, my understanding is the new transfer station will be recyclable, but I don't, you know, they take recycling, but I don't know how that system, I don't know how that system is set up. But
It's
it's a
governmental
great thing,
cost.
it's a great way to have a conversation and just, you know, talk to Mayor Hill. They're gonna be having the same issue, they're probably talking about the same thing now that that's closed, because that was Algona residents going over there to see the recycling as well.
What did you say?
I don't know, I went over to take my stuff over Sunday, and the bins were gone, and the sign says closed.
So you're still taking metals and whatnot, it's just the values, okay, so he's not.
The upfront, what he was taking up front there, the plastic, newspaper, cardboard.
How about I call Jerry and find out what he suggests, because I'm sure he has other avenues or places or ideas of where we can
He
do
came to me and was hoping that we had a suggestion for him. It's not feasible for him to do it. It's a mess.
that. Right.
It
Well,
costs
it's
his
just
employees to
seeing
get it, and it
him
costs him
some other
to
places
take it
to be
away.
accepting this stuff.
Yeah. He came to me wanting to know what you want to do. And I told him we were in the middle of negotiations. We were hoping to, you know, work something out with waste management. I don't know.
Well, something we need to react on now, not put around.
Do you want to take Leanne's suggestion and see if you can contact Mayor Hill?
I'll let Leanne do that.
Oh,
I don't have any conversation with that now.
I'll work with you, Dan. Dan, I'll work with you on this.
There being no further business before us, our workshop is concluded.